So today I'm talking about why the ranked mode matters and why people care so much about it. Now this is mainly talking to people that really don't understand why people actually care at all, and a lot of the people that say, you know, ranked is just a waste of time, don't ever go for that. As I actually hear that quite often, people only play quick play, only play arcade, and I want to talk about the other side of the coin, that being competitive players that want to put in the time and the effort, and why people might just want to do that. So, I guess you can maybe understand that, and if you are a competitive player, tell me if you think I'm right about any of this, or if I'm not, and as well, this is all going to be my own opinion, and again, my own experience. With that said, if you want to see any videos like this in the future, top right of the screen right now, there is a card that will take you to a playlist with more discussions, but with that out of the way, let me just start talking right here. So, before we really talk about, I guess, you know, general competitive mode, I want to talk about my own experience with it, and I guess myself, so you can kind of have a vision about why I'm saying what I'm saying and where I'm coming from. So, for myself, I am a very competitive player. For a long time, I was very casual. I played games very casually, but then somewhere along the road, I just snapped and played every single game I could competitively and had a lot of fun with it. I tried to get really high rank in League, only got to Plat, but you know, I was 12, so it wasn't that bad. I played a ton of Minecraft PvP when that was the cool thing to do. I played a lot of Pokemon, trying to become one of the best there, and then of course Smash Bros was my channel before Overwatch was my channel, so you could see that there as well. Overall, I just really love competitive moments. I love when you're in a match and you don't know who's better, you don't know who's gonna win, but you know you both really want to win. And that's where I feel like one thing kind of comes in that some people just don't really understand. Some people just think, you know, why don't you just want to play for fun and just enjoy the game? But often for myself, I can't enjoy the game unless there's some risk or something I have to take. I guess it's kind of like gambling, not really, but you know, you could say that if you want to keep that in your mind. I just really like to play it on the edge, play kind of risky, and this goes for every single game. A lot of the times for myself, and for many other people, it seems when you're playing something with no real, you know, risk versus reward, there's no huge purpose to play it. Of course, there is the fun of, you know, playing it and doing these jank strategies, but often I just get kind of bored of those. I just do the same thing a few times, you know, play soldier, get high ground, get kind of bored, and just kind of give up on games that don't have very much competitiveness in them. But when I'm playing a game that is competitive, I can really just not get as bored, because other than just the fun gameplay itself, there's also the fact that there's all these other players wanting to get to where I want to get to, and I have to prove myself that I am good enough to get up to my goal, that I am good enough, or I will become good enough to get up there. And that's where I feel like it can also become very fun to play games competitively. You have to push yourself to improve, and improving yourself, in my opinion, is a really fun thing to do. While it is kind of annoying at times, and while it can get extremely frustrating when you are stuck at a rank for season upon season, when you finally get where you wanted to get to, it's just something that you really can't replace it with. You can't replace it with just, you know, playing a lot of fun games. Sure, it's a different way of being satisfied, but it's not quite the same. And I feel like for very competitive people, once you've tasted the taste of death, and, you know, really just the taste of, you know, winning a competitive game that's very close, you kind of just want to do more, and you just want to keep enjoying yourself, and want to just keep playing it yourself. With myself in competitive games, you know, I've always done half decent at them. I've always, you know, put in a lot of time with them. And I guess that could also be a problem for a lot of players. Some people might just think, you know, why are you putting so much time in and getting, you know, not way too much result back in return? And I will say that that is kind of a problem about really most games. One game where I feel like it's kind of apparent, but not really, I guess, could be League of Legends. In the game itself, you don't get really that much bonuses for getting higher ranks. I mean, you do get a different border when you're playing ranked, so that's pretty cool, but, you know, you don't get way too much. You might get a skin. Well, you do get a skin if you get to gold, but that's mainly about it. And in Overwatch is kind of the same. When you get to a higher rank, you know, you get a little border that you can see, and of course you get really, you know, a little bit of stuff for a golden gun, and that's about it. So both aren't really that important. However, I guess one thing that is a little bit more fulfilling in League is that people care a lot more about ranked in that game. It's a lot more competitive. When you rank up, it takes a long time. In Overwatch, if you win, let's say 20 games, you could probably go up an entire division pretty easily. You could go up a few divisions pretty easily, probably from like, you know, silver all the way to gold, or maybe even silver to like halfway to platinum. That kind of easy. While if you win like 20 games in a row in League, which me and my friend did like a week or two ago just from playing for fun, you go up like from silver 5 to silver 4. So you really have to show a lot of dedication in the game, in League, compared to Overwatch, from putting in a lot of time into the game, slowly climbing up, and going on from there. And overall, the community just kind of accept that it is a lot more competitive, that you got to put in a lot more time, and overall people just kind of, that are more competitive kind of go towards that game. And, maybe not quite as much with Overwatch. But I feel like what's important to know from this, other than that main tangent, is that while you might not necessarily get an exact intrinsic reward that you can hold and feel and look at, like, extra gold or extra RP or a new skin or something in either of these games, it's the reward within yourself, I guess, that is so worth it for so many people. Honestly, myself, I would rather know that I climbed from silver to gold or from silver to platinum in a game, other than have the extra skin that I get from doing that. I feel like the accomplishment and the journey was funner than the end result, and maybe that's where the difference is. If you play competitive games and you just get stressed out at them, you don't really enjoy how much, I guess your stress again really goes into it, and you don't want to have to just play through all these games where you lose because your team's dumb, of course, maybe it won't be for you. Of course, maybe you won't like it that much. And especially if you're a person playing for the rewards, let's say, again, the golden gun, you're going to like it even less because you aren't going for the journey. You're going for the reward at the end. And that's not what a lot of people like. That's not what really the fun part is. The fun part is losing a lot of games and winning a lot of games. Figuring out what works and what doesn't, and just kind of going on from there. I guess kind of just learning the game is what really makes the game enjoyable for a lot of people, and competitive mode is probably the best place to learn the game. There's more people that are willing to try out good team comps, I guess even try out other team comps, actually play together, work together, go in, save ultimates, do all that stuff. While if you just play in quick play, for the most part, it's just going to be kind of a cluster of nothing, and a lot of the times, it's a clown fiesta. It's really hard to try to figure out what's going on. It's really hard to improve. Everybody's playing DPS every single game, and it just kind of goes on from there. It's just not really as equal of games as well, which kind of makes you bored out. I feel like something that, kind of goes off from what I was just saying, is that one thing that I really like about competitive mode, and I feel like a lot of people really like, is that every single time you play quick play, or almost every single time, it feels like a complete raffle stomp. One team wins, the other team loses, not even close. While in competitive, that does happen quite often, and it's really annoying that does happen in competitive mode, there's a lot higher percent chance you're going to have a close game. A game where players are, similar-ish enough skill, where the game doesn't immediately get face-rolled across the cart. And even if one team face-rolls the entire enemy team on attack, sometimes you on attack could face-roll them back, because you're both just really good attack players. And competitive mode does really apply you with that. Which I feel like is kind of cool. It essentially gives you just more equal games in general, and that's how the mode's supposed to work, so it makes a lot of your games quite a bit just funner, and it challenges you a lot more. One thing that I hate about quick play is, like, sometimes I'll play, and I'll be playing against silver players, and I feel really bad for stomping these guys. I feel like this is just not right. I should not be playing against these players, but it's just how quick play works, because it doesn't really matter way too much who your verse is. I don't know. I don't really like having to do that, and I don't really like having to just go through that. And instead, I'd like playing games that are close, that I can put a lot of effort into, and again, that I can just learn from, I guess. It's kind of nice to know. And I guess the final thing I want to say is that the competitive supplies you with something that really no other game mode can, and really not many other games can. I play a lot of other games. I was playing Sonic Mania, Breath of the Wild, Nier Automata, and just a heck of a lot of other games. Even some old GameCube games I was trying out, and some old PS2 games. But a lot of the times it's not the same, because while you are getting a lot of fun, I feel like you don't really get as much fulfillment. And as well with that, I feel like when you're playing a competitive game, you can get the fun factor plus something else. And I feel like often that something else, at least for people that, play video games a lot and don't do way too many regular sports, it can feel really good to do. And it can feel even better than simply just playing a game purely for fun. As well, if you can't have fun while playing competitive, yeah, it's a double whammy, a double winner. And that's what I often try to do. If I'm not having fun playing competitive, I won't play competitive. And that's something you might want to keep for yourself. If you're playing the games and you're not enjoying it, maybe you shouldn't play that for a little while. Maybe you should give it a break. I know I hated dive meta myself, so I stopped playing for 2 seasons. As weird as that sounds, I pretty much cut off Overwatch competitive for 2 seasons, but now I'm back into the thick of it. I'm enjoying it a lot, and I'm just playing the game and going throughout it. I guess one final thing, after the final thing right there, is that, you also have the benefit of knowing, kind of where you are compared to everywhere else, and just kind of knowing how good you are, and that can also make you feel kind of good knowing that you're in the top 5%, top 20%, top 50%. It's just something that, I guess, is a slight ego boost, which I don't know. Maybe people don't need that, but I mean, it can feel good from time to time once you put in all the effort to get it. And you really can't get that as much in regular games. But maybe that's just me. Anyways, as always, guys, there's my reasons why I think competitive ranked mode matters. Why do you guys think it matters? I kind of want to know. Do you guys think it matters at all? Or are you a player that just doesn't really think that it should even exist and don't really use it way too much? I kind of want to know you guys' own opinions. If you have your own opinions, leave them down in the comment section down below, and I'll try to respond to any that I possibly can. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. If you want any more like it that are, kind of talking about not really the game itself, but still talking about the game. A little bit weird, but there we go. Subscribe if you want to see any more stuff like this as well, though. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.